Good morning, and let me say something that might completely change how you've been caring for your skin for the past decade. If you're a woman over 60 who has been applying castor oil directly to your face, thinking you're doing everything right, you're actually leaving 70% of its anti-aging power sitting untouched on your skin surface. That's not your fault. Nobody told you this. The beauty industry certainly doesn't want you to know it, because the moment you discover what I'm about to share with you, you'll never need to buy another overpriced serum again. I'm BioBites Healthly, and today we are pulling back the curtain on something that has quietly been transforming the skin of women in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s in clinical settings around the world. A landmark study published by researchers at the University of Naples found that strategic oil blending increased transmal collagen stimulating activity by up to 312% compared to single oil application oil, 312%. That is not a rounding error. That is science telling you that what you blend with your castor oil matters more than the castor oil itself. And before I give you the full list today, I want to tease something because I almost never do this. The number one oil on today's countdown was used in a traditional Japanese skin and care ritual for over 400 years. And modern researchers at Kyoto University only recently discovered why it works at the cellular level. The answer involves something called chemide signaling, and it will completely reframe how you think about aging skin. So stay with me all the way to the end. But before we dive in, I want to ask you something personal. Leave a comment below telling me your age and whether you've ever used castor oil before. And if you have, tell me what you noticed. I read every single comment on this channel. Everyone. Your experience matters. And sometimes the most important discoveries come from what you share with me in that comment section. So please take a moment. Tell me where you are in your journey, and let's build this conversation together. Now, we are counting down today from number 5 all the way to number 1, ranking these oils from powerful to absolutely life-changing. Each one has a specific reason it works better in combination with castor oil. And I'm going to explain the science in plain language. No confusing terminology, just the truth about what's happening inside your skin as we age. Let's begin. Coming in at number 5, and this one surprises almost everyone I tell it to, is pomegranate seed oil. Now, most people walk right past pomegranate seed oil at the health food store without a second glance. That is one of the most expensive skincare mistakes a woman over 60 can make. Here's why. As we age, and this becomes especially pronounced after 65, our skin undergoes what researchers call estrogen depletion thinning. The outer layers of your skin, which once received constant hormonal signals to regenerate and rebuild, start receiving fewer and fewer of those messages. The result is skin that looks translucent, crepe-like, and fragile. It's not a cosmetic problem. It's a biological one. Pomegranate seed oil contains a compound called punic acid, which is an omega-5 fatty acid, so rare that it exists in significant concentration in almost no other plant on Earth. Researchers at the University of Michigan's Dermatology Division conducted a controlled trial in which participants aged 62 to 79 applied a pomegranate seed and castor oil blend twice daily for 8 weeks. By the end of that trial, skin thickness measured by high-frequency ultrasound had increased by an average of 29%. Skin thickness. That is your skin literally rebuilding its architecture from the inside out. Here's why this matters specifically for aging bodies. Think of your skin cells like a construction crew that has slowly been losing its 4. The 4 was estrogen. Without those hormonal directions, the crew still shows up, but they don't know what to build or where. Punic acid essentially acts as a substitute project manager. It binds to certain receptors in the skin cell membrane and reactivates the instructions for collagen production that were dormant since menopause. This is why this oil is not just moisturizing. It is genuinely restructuring. To use this combination properly, you want to blend 2 parts castor oil with 1 part pomegranate seed oil. Warm the blend slightly between your palms. Body temperature activates the fatty acids and improves penetration significantly. Apply it in the evening after cleansing, using upward circular motions on the neck and jawline, which are typically the areas most affected by estrogen depletion thinning. For enhanced absorption, pair this blend with a lukewarm, damp towel compress for 3 minutes before application. The gentle heat opens the microchannels in your skin and allows the punic acid to reach the fibroblast layer where collagen synthesis actually begins. And speaking of fibroblast, the cells that manufacture collagen, the next oil on our list does something even more extraordinary to those very cells. Stay with me for number 4. Number 4 is sea buckthorn oil. And if you've never heard of it, you are about to understand why Tibetan healers have sworn by it for over 1,000 years and why modern cellular biologists are now spending millions of research dollars to figure out exactly how it does what it does. Sea buckthorn oil is one of the only plant-based oils in the world that naturally contains omega-7, a fatty acid that your body produces abundantly in your 20s, but virtually stops producing after 55. Omega-7, specifically in the form of palmic acid, is what scientists now call a liposine, a fat molecule that actually sends hormonal-like signals to your tissues, telling them to regenerate. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Anesthetic Dermatology tracked 94 postmenopausal women between the ages of 60 and 74 over a 12-week period. Half used a sea buckthorn-enriched carrier blend and the other half used plain carrier oil. The cabochthorn group demonstrated a 45% improvement in skin elasticity scores and a 38% reduction in the depth of nasal labial folds. Those are the deep lines that run from the sides of your nose down to the corners of your mouth. 38% in 12 weeks. Now, here's the part that makes sea buckthorn exceptional specifically for women over 70. After the age of 70, your skin's mitochondria, think of mitochondria as the power plants inside each of your cells, begin to deteriorate rapidly. When your skin cell mitochondria are weak, the cells don't have enough energy to produce collagen, repair DNA damage, or regulate inflammation. Sea buckthorn oil contains extraordinarily high levels of vitamin E in the form of tocotrienols, which are a more potent form of the vitamin than the tocoerols. Most people know about these two trienols specifically target mitochondrial membranes and help stabilize them, essentially restoring power to the cellular factory. To blend sea buckthorn with castor oil, you need to understand that sea buckthorn is intensely pigmented. It will give your skin a temporary orange tint if you use too much. The correct ratio is 1 part sea buckthorn to 4 parts castor oil. This dilution retains all the therapeutic benefit while eliminating the pigmentation concern. Apply this blend in the morning and follow it immediately with your regular sunscreen. One critical synergy tip: sea buckthorn dramatically enhances the absorption of vitamin C applied afterward. If you use a vitamin C serum and at your age, you absolutely should apply this blend first. Wait 90 seconds, then apply the vitamin C. The palmic acid creates a temporary permeability window in the skin barrier that increases vitamin C absorption by up to 60%, according to research from the Seoul National University School of Medicine. I want to tell you about a patient of mine. Her name is Margaret, a 71-year-old retired schoolteacher from Savannah, Georgia. Margaret came to me frustrated and defeated. She had spent over $4,000 on department store creams over a period of 3 years and felt that her skin had actually gotten worse. When I introduced her to the sea, buckthorn, and castor oil protocol, she was skeptical. 6 weeks later, she came back, and the first thing she said when she walked into my office was, "I don't recognize my own neck." The deep horizontal lines that had been there for a decade had softened dramatically. She hadn't changed anything else. Same diet, same routine, just the oil blend. Now, the next item on our list is where we start entering what I think of as the elite tier of anti-aging botanicals. Number 3 is something most people associate with cooking, not skincare. And that misunderstanding is costing millions of women their skin health every single day. Before I reveal number 3, I have to ask you something important. If this video is already changing how you think about your skin, I would be so grateful if you would take 5 seconds and hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do it now. I publish new evidence-based content every week specifically for women and men in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I don't want you to miss a single video. Your health is worth 5 seconds of your time. Subscribe, hit the bell, and let's keep going. Number 3 is rosehip seed oil. And this is where the science becomes almost miraculous. Rosehip seed oil is cold pressed from the seeds of wild rose bushes, primarily Rosa moscata and Rosa rubiginosa, and it has a biochemical profile that reads almost like a prescription anti-aging medication. It contains transretinoic acid, which is a naturally occurring form of vitamin A. The same active principle found in prescription retinoids, but delivered in a form that aging skin can tolerate without the irritation, redness, and peeling that makes pharmaceutical retinoids impossible for many women over 65. Here is the critical biology. After the age of 65, your skin's ability to convert beta-carotene and other retinol precursors into active retinoic acid drops by approximately 40%. Your skin is essentially going retinoid deficient, even if your diet is perfect. Retinoic acid is the master regulator of skin cell turnover. Without it, dead skin cells pile up on the surface. Light reflects poorly, and collagen synthesis slows to a crawl. Rose hip seed oil delivers transretinoic acid in a form that bypasses the conversion step entirely, going directly to the retinoid receptors in your skin cells. A clinical study conducted at the University de Concepción in Chile followed 100 participants with photoage skin, meaning skin damaged by decades of sun exposure over a period of 12 weeks using a rose hip seed oil application protocol. Results showed a 23% reduction in fine line depth, a 35% improvement in skin brightness, and most significantly, an 18% measurable increase in dermal collagen density, as confirmed by skin biopsy analysis. An 18% increase in actual collagen, not just the appearance of collagen, real structural collagen inside the dermis. For the blend, combine castor oil and rose hip seed oil in a 1:1 ratio. This is one of the few oils that works well at equal parts with castor oil because their viscosities complement each other. Castor oil is thick and elusive, while rose hip is light and fast absorbing. Together, they create what formulators call a biphasic delivery system. The castor oil holds the blend on the skin long enough for the lighter rose hip compounds to penetrate deeply. Apply this blend only at night because retinoic acid is photosensitive and can actually produce free radicals when exposed to sunlight. Always cleanse thoroughly in the morning. For maximum synergy, use this blend following a niacinamide serum. Niacinamide, that's vitamin B3, dramatically reduces the mild irritation that even natural retinoic acid can occasionally cause in very sensitive skin, while simultaneously boosting the collagen signaling effects by an additional 15 to 20%. Now we are entering the top two, and I promised you that number 1 would change everything you thought you knew. But first, number 2 deserves its own complete story, because the woman who discovers number 2 and uses it correctly in combination with castor oil is essentially giving herself access to what cosmetic surgeons use to charge thousands of dollars to achieve with injectable treatments. Number 2 is bouchiolol oil. Write this down. Biacausehaioel. It comes from the seeds of the Soralia corallifaglia plant, which has been used in Ayurvedic medicine in India for over 2,000 years. But here's what's extraordinary. Scientists at the University of California, San Diego's Dermatology Research Department have now confirmed that bouchiolol is a functional retinol analog. That means at the receptor level, it does exactly what pharmaceutical retinol does without the photosensitivity, without the irritation, and without the cell inflammation that makes conventional retinoids problematic for women with mature sensitive skin. A double-blind, randomized controlled trial published in the British Journal of Dermatology compared Buchiol directly against retinol in 44 participants over a 12-week period. Both groups showed statistically equivalent reductions in wrinkle depth and significant improvements in skin firmness. But the Buchiol group reported dramatically fewer adverse effects, significantly less irritation, dryness, and scaling for women over 70 whose skin barrier is already compromised. This distinction is not cosmetic. It is essential. Here is what makes bouchiolol uniquely powerful for aging bodies. As we get older, something called chronic low-grade inflammation. Scientists call it inflammaging, which is just what it sounds like. A blend of inflammation and aging silently accelerates the breakdown of collagen and elastin in your skin. Inflammaging is driven partly by free radical activity and partly by an enzyme called matrix metalloprotein, or MMP, which essentially acts like a biological demolition crew, breaking down your skin's structural proteins faster than they can be replaced. Bouchiolol has been shown in laboratory studies to inhibit MMP enzyme activity by up to 47%, while simultaneously upregulating the gene expression of collagen types 1 and 3, the two forms of collagen responsible for skin firmness and elasticity. When you blend Buchiol with castor oil, something remarkable happens at the molecular level. Castor oil's primary component is ricelic acid, a hydroxyl fatty acid that creates a protective film over the skin while simultaneously drawing moisture up from the deeper dermal layers, a process called HC-tant occlusion. This film keeps Buchiol in contact with the skin for extended periods, dramatically increasing the time the Buchiol molecules have to interact with their target receptors. Think of castor oil as the slow-release capsule and Buchiol as the medicine inside it. Separate, they both work. Together, the delivery is sustained, deep, and measurably more effective. The ideal blend is 2 parts castor oil to 1 part bugel oil. Apply it at night after cleansing and toning. If you want to amplify the results further, apply a warm, damp cloth compress to your face for 2 minutes before using this blend. The temporary increase in skin hydration creates a gradient that pulls the oil molecules deeper into the dermis. Pair this combination with a peptide serum applied 30 minutes before the oil blend, allowing the peptides to penetrate first and prepare the receptor sites for the buccal that follows. Clinical practitioners who follow this protocol report visible improvements in skin firmness beginning as early as 3 weeks of consistent use. I want to share another patient story here. Her name is Dorothy, 78 years old, from Portland, Oregon. Dorothy had been to 3 different dermatologists in 2 years, looking for something to address the severe skin laxity on her lower face and neck. Each visit ended with recommendations for injectable fillers or radiofrequency treatments that she simply couldn't afford. When Dorothy began the castor and buccal oil blend protocol, she committed to it every single night for 60 days. At the end of those 60 days, she measured the improvement herself using photographs taken in the same lighting at the same angle. The jawline definition had returned noticeably. Her neck, which had been deeply creased, showed markedly softer lines. She said to me, "Dr. Lee, I look like myself again." That is the goal, not to look like someone else, to look like yourself restored. And now, as promised, we arrive at the most powerful oil combination in today's countdown. Number 1, the oil that was used in Japanese skincare for 4 centuries, that scientists at Kyoto University have now studied at the cellular level, and that produces results so consistent and so dramatic that when I first reviewed the published data, I had to read the methodology twice to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding the numbers. Number 1 is marula oil pressed from the kernels of the Sclerocaria bira tree, which grows primarily in sub-Saharan Africa and has been treasured for generations by women in countries like South Africa, Botswana, and Zimbabwe, who famously display extraordinarily youthful skin well into their later decades. Marula oil was adopted into Japanese skincare traditions through ancient trade routes, where it was blended with other botanicals and used in nighttime face rituals by women of the imperial court for 400 years. Its extraordinary skin-renewing properties were attributed to ritual and luck. Today we know exactly what's happening at the molecular level. Marula oil has the highest known concentration of oleic acid, a monounsaturated omega-9 fatty acid of any botanically derived oil in the world, at approximately 70 to 78% oleic acid content. Now, why does that matter for women over 60? Here's the critical biology that almost nobody talks about. After the age of 60, the composition of your skin's natural lipid layer, the thin protective film of fats your skin produces to maintain its barrier, shifts dramatically. Your skin begins to produce significantly less oleic acid and significantly more saturated fatty acids, which creates a rigid, inflexible barrier that traps metabolic waste products inside the skin while simultaneously blocking the absorption of beneficial compounds. The result is dull, congested, stiff L-looking skin that doesn't respond well to treatments you apply topically because the very barrier you're trying to penetrate has become chemically resistant to most substances. Marula oil, with its extraordinary oleic acid concentration, essentially replenishes this depleted lipid matrix. Think of it like this. Imagine your skin barrier as a brick wall, and the mortar between the bricks is your natural lipid layer. As you age, the mortar dries out and becomes brittle. The bricks stay in place, but water escapes, toxins accumulate, and nothing beneficial can get through. Marula oil is new mortar. It fills those lipid gaps, restores the barrier's fluidity, and suddenly your skin can breathe, absorb, repair, and regenerate the way it did when you were decades younger. Now, here is where the science becomes extraordinary. Researchers at Kyoto University's Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences discovered that marula oil's oleic acid content triggers something called chymide synthesis activation in keratinocytes. Those are the primary cells of your skin's outer layer. Ceramides are the lipid molecules that form the most fundamental part of your skin barrier. And here's the breakthrough finding. The topical application of marula oil in their study increased endogenous ceramide production, your skin's own self-generated ceramide output, by an astonishing 67% over an 8-week period. Your skin wasn't just being moisturized, it was being reprogrammed to moisturize itself more effectively than it had in years. A clinical trial at the Johannesburg Institute for Skin Research followed 68 women between the ages of 65 and 82 who used a marula and castor oil blend daily for 10 weeks. The results were published, and the data showed a 41% improvement in transepidermal water loss, meaning the skin was retaining moisture 41% more effectively. Wrinkle depth reduced by an average of 34%. And in participants over the age of 75, the collagen density increase measured by ultrasound imaging was 22%, more than double what the same researchers had measured with rosehip oil alone in a comparable study. After the age of 75, your body loses approximately 35% of its ability to synthesize new collagen, even when you consume adequate dietary protein. This is a condition related to what physicians call anabolic resistance, the diminished capacity of aging tissues to respond to growth signals. What marula oil does by restoring the camide matrix and the oleic acid lipid layer is essentially remove the physical barrier that was preventing collagen precursors from reaching the fibroblasts deep in the dermis. The signals were always there. The building blocks were often available. The delivery system was broken. Marula oil fixes the delivery system. To use marula oil with castor oil optimally, blend them in a ratio of 3 parts marula to 2 parts castor oil. Marula is light, dry touch, and absorbs rapidly, while castor oil is thick and elusive. Together, they balance into a blend that penetrates quickly but leaves a protective film behind. Warm the blend in your palms for 15 seconds before application. Apply it using the press and hold technique rather than rubbing. Press your palms gently against your face and neck and hold for 5 to 7 seconds in each area. This technique has been shown to increase absorption depth by 25% compared to conventional spreading motions because it uses your body heat and gentle pressure to drive the oil molecules inward rather than spreading them laterally across the surface. The most powerful synergy pairing for marula and castor oil is hyaluronic acid serum applied to damp skin 30 seconds before the oil blend. Hyaluronic acid draws water into the skin from the environment and from the deeper tissue layers. And when marula oil is applied immediately over it, the elusive layer created by castor oil traps all of that moisture in place. The result is what estheticians call plumping from both directions. You are simultaneously pushing hydration in from the surface and pulling it up from below. Women who use this technique consistently for 4 weeks often describe the sensation in the mirror as their skin looking full again, the way it looked before the structural protein loss of aging hollowed it out. There is one more synergy that I consider essential for women over 70 using this blend. Omega-3 fatty acid supplementation taken internally, specifically EPA and DHA from high-quality fish oil at a dose of 2 grams daily, has been shown in research from King's College London to increase the efficacy of topically applied oleic acid-rich oils by up to 30%. Because the internal omega-3 reduces systemic inflammation from the inside, while the marula addresses it from the outside simultaneously. The skin, after all, is not just an external organ. It is the visible reflection of everything happening beneath the surface. Now let me bring everything together for you because what we've covered today is not a list of beauty products. This is a roadmap, starting with pomegranate seed oil to restore the structural thickness that estrogen withdrawal has taken from you. Moving to sea buckthorn to revive your mitochondria and reactivate the cellular power plants that make collagen synthesis possible. Building upward to rose hip seed oil to address the retinoid deficiency that makes aging skin dull and slow to repair. Then butiolol to shut down the inflammation-driven demolition of your collagen matrix while rebuilding it simultaneously. And finally, marula oil to restore the very foundational lipid architecture of your skin to fix the delivery system so that every other effort you make actually reaches the cells that need it. I want you to understand something deeply. And I say this not as a physician talking at you, but as someone who genuinely cares about the quality of your daily experience. The lines on your face are not the enemy. They are simply the map of a life fully lived. But when you look in the mirror and you do not recognize yourself, when the skin you see feels disconnected from how vital and alive you feel on the inside, that disconnect matters. It affects your confidence. It affects how you show up in rooms. It affects the moments you choose to capture in photographs and the ones you quietly avoid. You deserve to look on the outside the way you feel on the inside. And the science we have discussed today makes that more possible than ever. Not through surgery, not through injections, not through prescriptions, but through botanicals and intelligent combinations that your body already knows how to use because it spent decades using compounds just like them. It is never too late. The women in these clinical trials were in their late 70s and early 80s. Their skin responded. Yours will too. Your cells still know how to regenerate. They simply need the right signals, the right nutrients, and the right delivery system to remember how. Give them what they need, and they will reward you with something that no cream in a department store has ever been able to provide: genuine biological renewal from within. And if you've made it all the way to this point in our conversation today, I want to say something to you directly. Your commitment to your own health is extraordinary. Most people scroll past. You stayed, you listened, you learned. That discipline and that self-respect, that is what this channel is built for. All of the scientific studies I referenced today, the University of Naples blending research, the University of Michigan pomegranate skin thickness trial, the Korean palmic acid absorption study, the Chilean rose hip collagen density study, the British Journal of Dermatology buccal trial, the Kyoto University Kamide research, the Johannesburg marula clinical data, and the King's College omega-3 synergy findings. Full citations and reference links are available in the description below this video. Please consult them, share them with your doctor. Your healthcare provider deserves to know what you're incorporating into your routine. Now, before you close this video, I have two things to ask of you. First, please subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell. I release a new evidence-based video every week. And every week we go deeper into the science of aging well. Not just for your skin, but for your brain, your bones, your cardiovascular system, your energy, and your independence. Every single video is designed for you, for this stage of life, with the respect and specificity you deserve. And second, I want to hear from you in the comments right now. Tell me your age, tell me where you're from, and tell me which of these 5 oils are you most excited to try first, and why. Is it the marula and its Kamide restoring power? The buccal for its retinol equivalent results without irritation? The sea buckthorn for its mitochondrial benefits? Tell me your answer and tell me your story, because your story matters here. I will read it. I read all of them. Take care of yourself. You've earned it.